Sorry. Count in the courthouse and property budget, which we had spent some out earlier. That was the immediate stuff, but yeah, the rest of it, yeah, we're past the window now. That's why I think the best approach probably for the next year is to see how we're trending and if we're doing okay, because we have to, whatever hits that we didn't plan for, it has to come out of that bucket. So did you tell them an amount or what?
I don't have an amount
okay.
because we're in the process of closing the books, and I don't know how much is left yet until we see what we got as far as purchase orders and other commitments.
But we're not.
But I
We're
think
in
a
that
lot,
not
I think
doing
a lot of
purchase
it
order
has
mode
been,
now.
I think a lot of it's been used though. But that would be under your 51,800 county buildings where we'd have money for that in next year's budget.
Most of my questions are either the other or the miscellaneous. So on 51,800, 189, it says other salaries and wages. Just what is other? It's
Let me look here.
County buildings. On the county building.
I do not have the breakdown of that, and I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
I imagine it's several items. It's not just one item.
Yeah, I just like I said, a lot of stuff, was either other or miscellaneous, and I just didn't.
Other
know.
typically is, it would be like your, well, we don't have sick leave, but it'd be something like that, as far as it's not a regular salary. But I can look at it and let you know. I don't have my computer here, so I can't just pull it up.
Right. And then general fund, there was 58,400.
What page?
Let's see, page 5 of 107. No, 108. Sorry, mine's been punched out.
Page 5.
Yes, page 6 is below it. Mine's got a hole punched in it, so I don't know.
Hold on.
Are you in tab 1?
I am in tab 1.
Okay.
So what did I?
That is a summary of the accounts. The detail is over behind that. But what is your question?
What did I say? 51. 58,400 other charges, and it previously had been 787,028, or that's what it is, but it's up $242,461.
Okay, hold on.
It's almost the last 3 pages from the back. It's right above the COVID grant.
Okay. That is insurance.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
building contents, vehicle, and workers' comp, and it did go up.
Yeah, it just said
So-
other. I didn't know.
That's where your insurance is charged, and it's on page 99.
Okay.
You'll see the detail.
Okay. And what is other local health services? That's
Well-
just right above it. Up, 55,190. It's gone down 222,000.
What's the account number?
55,190.
Okay.
It's on that same page. just right
Well,
above
that's
it.
the summary, so I
Oh,
can't.
I got you. Okay.
These pages are not easy to turn. 55,190, is that what you said?
Uh-huh. Other
That is
local-
the health department.
Okay.
We pay a portion. Actually, we contribute back some, but we have to budget the health department. So that's the part we send to the state.
So that went down.
I think they had a grant in there last year is the reason,
Uh,
because they did some work on the health department building.
And I think they got their grant back that they weren't going to get, so
Well-
that'll have to be amended back in whenever it actually.
Yeah, we had a state grant, had it approved, and we are getting ready to spend the money, and the state pulled it back. We had it budgeted and everything, and now they've gone to other sources and recovered some of the money, but it's not the same grant, but they are getting the money back. And it was for a roof, air conditioning unit. I think it's around 300,000.
mean, but they're getting some back. Okay, I got one more, and it's a other also, and it's
What's your account number?
it's a 51,800.
That's county buildings.
Yeah, it's under county buildings. It's said on my pages. It's got a whole.
Okay, that is on page 37.
Okay, and it's other salaries and wages. Other, what? Who's other?
That's the one I think you just asked me about.
First one?
Yeah.
Is that the one I asked you?
So that one I've got to look to see what that consists
Okay,
of.
that was the first one. All right, that's all I got.
On that same page where she's at, so we have an owner's rep, and that base salary, is it still the 24,000?
It's 12 from the county, 12 from the schools, and that's probably part of that other salary there.
Okay. Now, the contract for that position usually comes up after we do budget. It was at 0.85 for 24, 25. I never did hear what that percentage was. Did it say at 0.85 this past year?
Yes, and
Do
that
you
is charged to the
anticipate-
project, not to this.
Right. It's charged to the project because we finance that salary, which drives me nuts. But do you foresee it going up, or is it going to stay at 0.85?
I'm not.
No change.
Yeah, there's no change that I'm aware of.
Okay. Is there any way to know? We know what everybody else's salaries are. Is there a way to figure out how much is going to that position every year?
Yeah, I mean it's based on the projects, but other than the 24,000, it's based on the project.
Right. I understand all that, but
Yeah.
what's the total? Is what I'm driving for. Is what I'd like to know.
Okay. I mean, I don't have it with me. I'd have to calculate it.
Yeah, and I thought we
Did send out I did send out a sheet at one point that had
all that on there. I
yeah
thought.
what we had as far as the project. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while.
and that was the schools, I believe, at that time.
Oh, no, but we can get.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
get another one.
I mean, there's schools and county projects, and there's a lot of them going on right now. So I'd just be curious to know what that salary piece is.
Okay.
And then I think we've talked about this one before. When we look at the base salary for certain positions that are mandated from the state, I know that the 4 fee offices and the election commission, they're all right on exactly what the minimum is set for by the state. All the others have gone up exponentially through the years. And what's the reason for that again?
It'd be based on the salary study.
No, she's talking about the elected officials.
Elected officials.
That's determined by state law. I mean,
Well, I understand that part, but the ones for the 4 fee offices and the election registrar are exactly what the state calls for the minimum. It's 110 something.
correct.
And then all the others have gone up quite a bit, and they're quite a bit more
Okay.
than.
If you'll turn to tab 8, because some of the courts get an extra amount. Like, for instance, circuit court, that clerk gets an extra amount because she does sessions court. And we've shown the calculation there on tab 8. And also that applies to chancery court. They get an extra amount because of probate. And the sheriff gets an extra amount because of the jail. Highway gets an extra amount because it's based off of the mayor's salary.
Okay. And under convenience centers, there is a salary there for a county official. Is that paid out to someone? And I don't remember what tab that was in.
I believe that the road superintendent gets a salary because he is doing the solid waste, and there also might be a small portion in there for his assistant.
Okay.
Diane.
So there's okay.
because they're managing the solid waste.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm pretty sure
technically,
she gets some, and then he gets some.
because technically it was under the mayor's purview, but it's been handed over years ago to the road superintendent.
You do have the option of hiring a solid waste director, but you would pay a full salary.
I think
for
all
that.
the way back to Clyde. I think even when Clyde was doing it, that's the way they did it.
Because yeah, we
Right,
had
but I'm just saying. I think all the way. I think the whole time Stanley, but I think even all the way back to Clyde's when it started, sometime in the '80s. I think whenever they actually started the community centers as opposed to the out at different roads. Where
Yeah,
they
we
just
had
had
our
a
we had our
dumpster.
own solid waste fund at one time before we got in the ISWA, and Troy may remember some of that.
Regional planning.
Yeah, now it's the ISWA.
Yeah. Used to be dumpsters like at the end of some roads, and people just throw stuff off in the hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question I forgot, and I don't know what it's on, but what page it is, but I remember marking it on finance. Like there was a big black box on salaries. I wondered why.
Well, I
What'd
mean,
you
look,
I was trying to find the page that was. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
no, I don't have a black box.
It wasn't Robert's salary. It was it was
Well,
just a black box.
What we do when we send out the initial amount, we block out the salaries for all departments, because when the offices send in their budgets, we calculate salaries. We don't want them calculating it because we go by the salary scale.
Right.
So
that should have been some kind of worksheet.
yeah,
not
that was a
the end
worksheet that you
product.
got originally, but it's not blocked out on this because it's on page 41.
Page 41. It is on mine. Of section 1. Is that what it is?
Yes. Now, did you find it?
I'm getting 42. Okay, now page 41. Yeah, I have. It is on there. No, it's not on this one. It is somewhere in
It
here,
is.
though.
It is on your initial request that we sent out.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess I just wasn't noticing that those were the same two, because I was like, why is there a big black box on that one?
It's on all of them that we sent
on
out.
the first ones. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's on here.
Any other?
Anybody?
One thing that we're
Yeah,
going
one
to
thing
get
I
for
will-
you,
I will
and
get
one
for
thing
you.
for Diane.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we get shoot. We
I
get
did
whole
do
pa-
that,
yeah,
yes.
That way it just.
And that may be why I can't find it. I may have changed it.
Okay. Yeah, but the only change that was in there was that 6,000 typo,
yeah, that was-
whatever the
that
deal
was
was.
in
That when it
transfers.
calculated it, there was nothing else moved or changed
Right.
from your original document. Anybody going once, twice?